which makes 1608 horsepower on an engine dyno. It makes 1403 on the rear. It's been together for 3 years. The bearings are still pretty good. It hasn't run a bearing from motor racing oil. It's actually, we had 55 pounder boost in it. It still runs 1403. We had it with 60 pounder boost and it tore the gudgeon pin straight out of the piston. The engine still turns, so there's nothing really wrong with that. I will pull some main bearings and big end bearings off to show you how good the bearings and the oil is, okay? The bearings are not too bad. It's actually picked up a little bit of stuff as it's gone through the engine from the blow up, but the bearings are still pretty good on the main bearing. I'll pull the next cap off. That's a lot better because it's actually close. It's got a little bit of specks through the bearings, but nothing much. This thing has actually made 1600 horsepower, been running for 3 years, not a problem. We use ACL Race Series bearings with the motor oil. We use the motor oil in our race car, and we've had the same bearings in that engine for 2 years. And rebuilt it and put a new set of bearings in it, but put the old bearings into another engine. That's the main bearing. Still very good. I'm now pulling off a big end to show you how good the bearings are on the big ends. See, it hasn't run a bearing up here. It just broke the gudgeon pin straight out of the piston. Actually, the gudgeon pin's not broken. It's actually the piston pulled out of it. This is the piston and conrod out of it. I just took it out of there. Very good. See, there's no marks on that skirt. The motor oil is doing its job fantastically. Okay. There's the bearing. Still got the oil on it. Got a few little bits of fish eyes which has come through the bearing from when it had a blow up, but still very perfect. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. Perfect. Oh. Well, it's got no scores up and down the side of the piston. There's no big scores up the piston. Considering this has been running together for 3 years. You with me?
Yep.
And look. Bearing's still very good. Pistons are like new. Except it's actually conrod, yeah. These are Corello conrods. You can put the block down there too, I guess, yeah. Give me a hand in with this, Sash. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with the oil. The oil's perfect in the engine. I just tore the gudgeon pin straight out of the piston. Just ripped it straight out. So there's the piston still stuck in the engine. There's the crank. There's the pin. The pin's perfect still. These are the other pins, and there's all the bearings. It's been running for 3 years with 1600 horsepower, so it makes 1403. It's broke every dyno country in the country. The Summer Nats was 670. We made 1401 at the Summer Nats in Canberra. And the dyno shoot here in Sydney at AutoSalon made 1403, 1401, 1398.
It's a national record.
It's a national record. This is the most powerful Supra in the world. Genuine 3 litre. Standard crankshaft, just with our special main bearing caps, a set of Corello rods and CP pistons, or JE pistons they are, but they've been running for 3 years. We hit it with 60 pounder boost and it tore the gudgeon straight out of the piston. Nothing wrong with the rest of the engine. Look. The piston is still stuck in the engine. There's the main bearings. They have picked up a little bit of stuff from the blow up, but nothing, you know. 3 years running. National record holder. Okay.
And inside of the cylinder, it's like spotless.
Yeah. Just tore the gudgeon pin straight out of the piston. Too much boost. It's on its limit. With 55 pound, we never had a problem. We hit it with 60, see what it's done? It started to bend the conrods. They should be straight like that one there. This has started to bend open. So it looks like that's what might have happened with the M1. It's opened the conrod, then the conrod tore in half and tore the gudgeon pin out of it by the looks of it maybe. Okay.